What is happening, man? Great to have you back on the show. I was kind of laughing before we jumped in here. Is that this is kind of our annual time, right around 4th of July? Just kind of check in with seeing what's going on in the world of Kyle. So, brother, welcome, man. Great to have you back on. I can't believe we're 324 episodes deep, and none of this is possible without you. So, brother, it's always great to have you, and I'm really excited to dive in with you, especially on today's topic. It's like I was like, hey, Iva, what's like Kyle? Which path? What does he want to cover? What does he want to do? And she said, well, he wants to talk about AI tools. I was like, oh snap! Okay, I did not expect that. So I am like, I got notepad, pen. I'm ready to dive in with you. But I'm really curious, Kyle. Like, maybe what's your hot take on AI? The sexiness, the buzz, the gravitation, like just kind of holistically get your whole take on AI as a whole right now.
Yeah. What's funny with AI is I think people are still super intimidated by it. It's really funny because it's like people hear all this stuff, they're super interested, they watch a ton of videos, they get like excited about it, but they never actually do anything with it. And it's like I'm watching people get analysis by paralysis when it comes to AI. And it's like if they would just get behind the freaking wheel and drive this thing for a little bit, they would be like blown away at how easy it is to use. But so many people I think originally when it came out, a lot of the people teaching it were like, oh, you got to have this prompting and prompt engineering. Like, that's nonsense, dude. You don't need to know anything about prompt engineering. Like, maybe you did at one point, but you sure as hell don't today. I was prepping for my team meeting that we just had, and I wanted to help them understand the difference between the old Fed chairman Powell and the new Fed chairman Warsh. And I just started talking to it, told it like, I'm doing a presentation. I want to help my agents understand this. By the time I was done, it built me an entire slide deck. It built me a handout that I was able to deliver to everybody. And it built me a freaking interactive website that will now, the agents can go look at any time they want, and all of the data points that are important to the new Fed chairman are there. My initial prompt was like, hey, I want to give a presentation to the team. This is what I want to talk about. Help me. There's your freaking prompt engineering.
That is it. That's so good.
A website, a handout, and an entire slide deck in like 15 minutes of my time. And I had no special prompts. Like, all you got to do is just tell it what your objective is. And then just like, this is what I want to do. Help me. Ask me as many questions as you need, and let's build something. And then I didn't even think of like the website. It was like, hey, would it be cool if I built you a website?
Yeah, of course.
Cool. You want a handout also? Yeah, sure. Like,
yeah, sure.
I'm not special. I don't know coding. I don't know anything. Like, I'm just a guy who's like, I wonder what this thing can do. And it'll start talking to it, and you just get this magical stuff spitting back out of it. So I think the biggest thing is AI is a complete game changer, but so many people are just sitting there paralyzed right now because they think they have to understand coding and prompt engineering and all this stuff, where like, if you just had a conversation with this thing, you'd be baffled at what it can do for you.
Yeah. You're so spot on. I was kind of working through, halftime, reset, just any adjustments, and just kind of fine tuning things vision wise out into the future, and had kind of looked at kind of one of the BHAG numbers, and BHAG, right? I just throw it out there, big, hairy, audacious goal. Don't know how they're going to get there, but we're going to get there. We'll figure out a way. And literally, Kyle, I would have left it there maybe for a year, 2 years. I mean, it's BHAG, it's 10 years from now, right? So it's like, man, maybe I can look at this thing, and to your point, just said, hey, like, what needs to happen month over month in order for this outcome to be true? And it started going through, literally cut the BHAG number in half, because even at half is a stretch, but being able to see that in there. And I was like, dude, it would have taken me years to flush that out. And I flushed it out in 15 minutes. I was like, oh my gosh. And I think, to your point, just little things like that, it'll do so much. I mean, that's not even scratching the surface, but I think when you can start getting a couple of those wins, getting a little bit of clarity, I think that probably helps the confidence to really want to run with this thing a lot more.
Yeah. And that's what I'm seeing is like, I've watched a lot of the like AI experts try to teach this, and they shit the bed completely. Like, they go so complex and they overwhelm people And I think they do more harm than good. I've actually found me being more of a arguably novice user is more effective at teaching it because I don't know anything. Like I don't
Mhm.
know what I don't know. But some people, they know so much that it actually holds them back because they don't understand how to teach just basics with this stuff. So they go so overcomplicated and overwhelm people with it that people just do nothing. And so like, if nothing else, if you're watching this or listening to this today, like the number one thing is just get behind the freaking wheel of Claude, of Chat, of Grok, whatever it is that you're into. Like just get behind the wheel and just start talking to it the same way you would talk to me. Just say like, hey, I don't know if this is possible, and I don't really know anything about AI, but like, can you do this? Like, or I have this idea, can you help me work through it? Like, just start with that. Like,
Yeah.
there's no special prompting that you need to know. There's no like setup, no code words, no nothing. Like, you don't need to know anything. Even with like Claude Code, you don't know how to. Claude Code is like, I feel like it should get rid of the name because it makes you think you have to know how to code. Or even the term like vibe coding that's out there, people think that they have to know how to code to vibe coding. But what vibe coding is actually just using words and it turns it into code for you. That's what vibe coding is. But you hear the word vibe coding, you're like, oh, I'm not a coder. I don't know how to do that. Like, no, like we should stop using coding in the name of some of these things because it makes people think they need to know how to code. When in reality, it's going to code for you. You're going to use plain English, and this is going to do the coding on your behalf and make you look like you know how to code when you don't know anything. You just talk to it, and all of a sudden it coded an entire app for you. I was just talking to it the other day. I'm huge in the World Cup right now. I like to wager, and I have like a traditional bookie website, and then there's like Kalshi and Polymarket, and they show things so differently, right? Like you go on Kalshi and Polymarket, it tells you like a percentage, and then you go on a normal book, and it shows you like minus 120 or plus 210, and so you're like, how? I just went in there. I was like, can you help me understand the difference between these two things? 5 minutes later, I have my own app that I can literally punch in. Here's what Kalshi says. Here's what my book says. And it'll just aggregate it and be like, here's the one you should place your wager on because this is actually the better place to wager. And then I sent it to all my friends that like to bet too. And I was like, here you go. This will help you out. And I built it in 5 minutes. And all I asked it initially was like, help me understand the difference between betting on Kalshi and a normal sports book. And then it was like, cool, I'll build you this app. And I had an app 5 minutes later. Like,
so good. We got to get your betting your probabilities, your win percentage. If it's up, right? We might have figured out your little hack. I got an agent buddy that he's built out. He has this whole thing that he's built out for the stock market, and he's been at it for pretty heavy for about 9 months now, and he's way up. I'll put it that way. just leverage it, just the right questions, just talking through it. Show me examples, explain to me more. What does it mean? So
ask me questions. That's the most important prompt in AI is ask me questions. Like I'll tell it sometimes, ask me at least 10 questions before we do anything. Like, and I teach it, and then it'll be like, here's your 10 questions. I'm like, no. Don't ask me 10 questions at once. I can't comprehend that much information. Ask me one question at a time. It's like, okay, great. I'll ask you one question at a time. Do you want me to do that all the time? Yes. I can't handle 5 questions at once. Okay, great. Moving forward, I'll only ask you one question at a time. Like, guys, just talk to it. Yeah. And tell it who you are. Like, one of the little hacks that it's so simple, but everybody's done like a DISC profile or a Colby analysis or predictive index or one of these like personality profile things. If you've done that, have you uploaded it into Chat and Claude so that it understands who you are and how to interact with you? Because if not, you're trying like hoping it understands you. But if you have a personality profile that's already complete, like help it out. Tell it you're an ID or you're a CS or whatever you are. Like help it, and it will actually interact with you a whole lot better. Like I think about this. This is like having the ultimate friend or ultimate wife that like I could tell it how to interact with me and it'll actually listen all the time. No matter what. Something I don't like throwing an M dash in there. It's like, hey, never ever use an M dash again as long as you live. I don't ever want to see an M dash again. And then it will never use it again. Like, just imagine if you could tell your wife that, like a girlfriend. Crazy. But it will. Like, it's so fun.
It doesn't forget. Kyle, why, of all the things and all the strategies, everything there, why AI right now? Why is that the lever to be pulling?
Yeah, I mean, for me at my level, so for perspective, we have about 140, 150 agents on our team. We sold over 1,000 houses last year, 875 million. So we're running a huge team. For me, time is my most valuable asset. Like hands down, the most valuable thing for me is my time. So I'm obsessed, like every day, day in, day out. How can I better leverage my time? And so I've gone from, traditionally, most people, when you get up and running, you're working 6 or 7 days a week, down to six, down to five, down to four. Now I'm down to 4 days a week. Now I'm trying to shorten the days. And instead of having like an 8 hour day, go to a 7 hour day, to a 6 hour day. And by leveraging AI, I'm able to get that time back because I've got two young girls. I got a 3-year-old and a 10-year-old. Like they're only going to be 3 and 10 for so long. And I want to spend every minute that I can with them. I want to be there for those magic moments. And so if I can leverage technology to buy myself some time back, I am all for that. And there is nothing that has ever allowed me to buy my time back more than leveraging AI properly.
I couldn't agree more. So with you and all of the responsibilities, obligations, I mean, you're running, one of the top teams, top businesses, top companies in real estate on the planet. You've got one of the largest organizations on the planet with Fast Forward Movement. You talked about you as a leader leading at a high level, helping you get back, the most important thing to you, which is your time. Where does AI fit into the production side for the agents that are out there in the trenches selling real estate right now?
For sure. So tons of different technologies that we're using. One that I really like is called Shiloh, Shiloh, Shiloh. This thing is literally listening to every single call that my agents are doing. And then it is basically coaching them on each of those calls. So it'll give their call a rating. It will then tell them, why it rated it, where the opportunities for improvement were. And then what it does is once a week, we do role playing with it. So it can analyze like where is each individual agent strong, where is each agent weak. And then the agent can then role play the area where they're weak to get better. All technology based, all without me having to lift a finger or do a single thing. And so I always look about like, let's say pay-per-click leads. A lot of people will talk about anybody who tells me they convert pay-per-click at like 5 or 10%, go pound sand. That's ridiculous. Nobody converts at that number. But let's assume you, even at like a top tier team, might be converting those things at 1%. What if we could just move the conversion rate on those leads from 1% to 2%? A lot of people will think in their head like 1% difference, big deal. Like, no, it's actually 100%. Like you actually doubled your conversion.
Yeah, doubled.
If you could just move from a 1% to a 2% conversion rate. So if there's tools that can do this coaching, because we used to manually have a virtual assistant listen to these freaking calls and then score them and then send the agent a report, like the amount of human hours that were required to complete that is crazy. So the fact that this is all happening 100% of the calls instantaneously, and not only is it coaching them on each call, but the fact they can now role play with that's such a freaking game changer. And it's not requiring me or anybody on my team or any staff to do this. This is all just happening organically 100% of the time. So it's really helping the agents with their conversion rate and, getting them to where they can, work less hours or make more money, whatever it is, right? Pick your prize there. But that's a big one that I'm a really big fan of right now.
And have you been using it long enough to see, hey, we started out, our conversion was at X, since implementing and using Shiloh, essentially kind of almost like a sales manager trainer, at least doing like what you were saying, the human error, right? The bias. You take the human bias out of it when the AI is grading it. It's not going to lean into tonality, the individual, all of the little things that can maybe, the little nuances. Do you have kind of actual kind of before and after, or to this point?
The team has it. I have no idea what the numbers are off the top of my head, but I pay attention to the scoring metric, like where was our average score before? And I watch the team as a whole to watch that average score move up. And that part's really cool to see. And if you think about it, I mean, we're in San Diego, California. Like the cost of hiring a sales manager to do that, that's a $100,000-$200,000 a year position for somebody that could actually do that and coach them on it. And then again, you said there's going to be bias, right? Like maybe they like this person a little bit, or they had some interaction with them. So their lens they're seeing it through might not be the same lens they're looking at somebody else with. So they might play favorites, or they have people they don't like, so they're harder on them. where this is just consistent every single time. So
Yeah.
that one. Another one I really love right now is Fellow, FELLO. That thing does a couple things. One, this is less AI, this is more automation based, but we do a ton of open houses. We're doing 50 to 100 open houses a week. Those you guys doing as team leaders, think about this. If you could have 58 open houses happening a weekend and you have 25 signs out for every open house, that's 1,000 signs out on the streets of San Diego every weekend. Like, that's huge. But if we can help our agents out when it comes to what happens with the results of that open house. So you do an open house, and let's say you had 10 people sign in, that's automatically going into the CRM. And then Fellow is doing enrichment on the data. So it's now looking at whatever info it got, name, phone, email, or anything else it got. It's taking that info, and then it's going through all of the different data sources that exist out there to attach an address to that lead, where before, like, the agent would have to manually go search and try to find an address for that lead. This is doing it automatically, searching across all public records, tax data, everything. So it'll now append the follow-up boss record with an address for that lead. And then it will fire off a campaign that's automatically marketing with personalized messaging for that lead, for that property. And it knows that we met them at an open house, and all that stuff is happening automatically, which is huge. So I love that side of what Fellow's doing. And then they just released their AI follow-up, which is called Felix. And I'll be super honest, like, I've been very hesitant and against using AI voice to make calls for us. But I was really impressed when I talked to Ryan Young, who's the founder over there. He gave me a demo of it. And I was like, all right, this is the best I've seen. Let's try it out. And we ran that just in the first week. We generated 184 live transfers, 23 appointments, with the best one being a $3.5 million listing appointment. And we gave it absolute trash. Like, I was like, let's test this, give it the oldest leads that we've never contacted, we've had no luck with. And we ended up with 184 live transfers, 23 appointments, including a $3.5 million listing. Like, that's insane. And so this thing is going through the database, and it's reading all of the records, and it's personalizing the outreach. And the thing is, like, you could rely on your agents to do this, or you could let AI do it. And you could say, well, it's going to turn some people off if the AI does it. Good, because not calling them, not texting them is not going to turn them on. So I'd rather turn somebody off than never turn them on, right? At least we had a shot. So I'd rather shoot our shot and have a chance than have zero chance, just hoping they're going to randomly, like, remember to call us, even though we've never spoken to them. So the fact that it put that many opportunities in our lap just in the first week with, a 10,000 lead, import, like, crazy results early. And I know over time, this thing's just going to keep getting smarter and better. And my ISA team is overseeing this thing because they're taking the live transfers. Like, can we turn it on more? We want more. We want more. So that thing's really, really powerful too.
That's so awesome. Yeah, I've been really impressed with what Ryan and his team has done with that tool. I mean, and then continuing to innovate, make it better and better, utilizing the technologies available. I mean, let alone not even what you shared. I would always, if you got a large enough database, like, you got to have Fellow. And like, you're making even more compelling reason, even if you don't have a massive database, you need to have Fellow just to be able to help you in that regard. That's so cool. So we've got Shiloh, we've got Fellow. What's number 3 on the list?
So just going back to time management, one of the beauties of being at EXP is they cover the cost of an account with Fixer for us, FYXER. Fixer's huge. Like, so as soon as I'm done here, the first thing I'll do is I'll go into my email, and now all of my emails are going to automatically have a label applied, or tag, whatever term you prefer. So they'll all be tagged, like, here's the ones you have to respond to, here's the ones that we're marketing, here's an FYI, and it's automatically going to apply labels to everything. So my time is super valuable. I will have 30 minutes between this appointment and my next one. So now I know I don't need to go look at everything. I just need to look at the ones that are to respond. Like, what are the ones that I actually need to respond to? Let me start there, because I only have 30 minutes. I might have 200 emails, but let me focus on the ones that actually matter and just block out a lot of the noise. So first part of it is it'll automatically categorize everything or label them. Second part is it'll auto draft responses to everything, which is so freaking cool, which saves me a massive amount of time. And the beauty of this is this thing just gets smarter and smarter and smarter over time, where it's learned now if somebody like our group at EXP Fast Forward Movement, somebody will message like, hey, what's I can't log in, or what's the password? It knows that anytime I get one of those, I loop Ella in. So it'll be like, hey, thanks so much for the message. I've looped Ella in, and she'll be able to help you out with that. It automatically CCs Ella on the email, and all I have to do is hit send. Like, absolute game changer. And it just gets smarter and smarter over time because it's reading my emails, it's learning how I speak, it's learning who people are, who do I loop in, all that stuff. Additionally, it connects to the calendar. So now that's all connected up with my calendar. So now if somebody's like, hey, can we meet tomorrow? It'll go on my calendar and be like, yeah, we can meet. I've actually got a window at 12 o'clock or 4 o'clock. Which one's better for you? Like, it's auto syncing with my calendar. So I'm not having to bounce back and forth between systems. The third part of Fixer, I guess would be the fourth part: labeling, pre-drafting responses, calendar integration, and then it has a note taker for meetings. So now that thing's hopping on to every meeting that I have. And like, there's other systems out there with Fireflies and Gong and some of these others. But Fixers, if I can put multiple technologies in one system, I'm all for that. So rather than having to have Fireflies for note taking and then Fixer for email, Fixer does both. So Fixer is jumping into all of my meetings. And that one, like, I think people like see that they have something that's jumping into meetings, but they don't know what to do with it. And what I love with Fixer is if I have recurring meetings, it's going to send me something before the meeting and tell me like, hey, here's what you talked about last week on that meeting, just so you kind of know like what you're coming into in case you forgot. Then when it's done with a meeting, it's going to give me a recap of the meeting, and I could choose to send that to everybody that was on it or not. That's huge. Also, I connected my Fixer to my Claude account. So now Claude has access to every Fixer meeting that's ever happened. So I can go into Claude and say, hey, I know I talked with Max, my director of marketing, about our AEO strategy. Can you go back and find the meeting where we discussed what that strategy is? And it'll go through every transcript of every meeting that's ever been done. Like, oh, that was on your March 6th meeting, and here's what was discussed, and here's a link to the document that was shared. Like, oh my gosh, the amount of time that is saving me is crazy. So I know a lot of people, you see these note takers, but nobody really knows like what they're doing or why they're doing it. Like, have your note taker connected to your Claude account, and now you're just, you were running gunning all day. Like, hey, I was on this meeting. I know we talked about it. Can you go back and like help me figure out what we talked about? Or when did I talk to Chris about this? I swore I said something. I found it. Like, it's just going through every meeting. It's recording everything. I found that to be like so freaking helpful, man. It's a game changer.
That's awesome. So it is, you can get it through being a part of EXP. Do most agents know this, or how do they go set it up? How do they get access? Like, how do you make sure that your team is getting access and utilizing Fixer?
Yeah, so we have a whole onboarding team. So when agent onboards, they go through a whole checklist. We make sure we get them set up with all the technologies, especially one like that I think that one's like $500 a year. So the fact that we get that included, like, it'd be stupid for them to not implement that. So we have all of our agents, when they onboard, integrate that into their platform. We really want to make sure, like, it's part of our job we can never expect our agents to like spend the time to learn the tools that the broker is putting together, nor do I want them to, because some of the tools, might not work with our business. So that's kind of our job, is to keep an eye on all the tools the company's rolling out, figure out the ones that make sense and the ones that don't. That's why you join a team, right? Is like, let your team leader sift and sort through this stuff, figure out what works, and then help you implement it. And this analogy, man, this is one that's really hit me in the last year, is when you join a team. So I went to this really amazing restaurant recently. It was like a Michelin star restaurant. And the meal they served me was so damn good. And I could ask the chef, like, hey, could you give me all the ingredients for this dish? Like, it was so amazing. And that chef could give me the exact ingredients that he used to make that dish. It's worthless to me. There's two key things that are missing. One, the recipe, how to actually put it all together. And then two, somebody to actually execute on that recipe, right? That has the skill set to do it. And that's the thing I'm finding in our industry. And the reason why people should join a team is the team is not only going to find the ingredients, they also have the recipe, and they have the skill set to execute on that recipe, because the ingredients alone are worthless. So I could tell you my entire tech stack, but if you don't know how to actually get it all to come together, right, the recipe to put it all together and the skill set to make that happen, it's all worthless to you.
Yeah.
So that's something people should think about when you join a team, is like, the team is the person who's going to give you the ingredients, the recipe, and they're going to put it all together for you so that you don't have to, which is the same reason you go out to eat, right? So you don't have to do all of that. You let the chef do it because you know they do it better than you ever will. Same thing, same reason you join a team.
Yeah. And you get the team and everybody's getting those reps, right? You're learning faster than anybody else as well. So I think there's so many benefits of a team, and I've been on everybody lately, like, listen, dude, like, if you're struggling, it's because you're wearing all these hats. You're not getting enough reps in kind of this new climate, the market that we're in. Get on a dang good team. That's going to take a lot of things off of you, but you can also learn faster from everybody else that's around you.
Yeah. And like these technologies we're talking about, because we're so big, these things are learning faster, because all AI is learning from itself. And so the more information that it has access to, the more it's going to learn, the faster it's going to learn, the better it's going to get. So when you join a big team versus you solo, like, this thing's collecting so much more data about our team, like Shiloh, for example, right? Like, it's listening to hundreds of calls per day for us versus you on your own, who's making like 5 calls a day. So the brain behind it is getting more and more educated about our systems, our processes, our people. So it's able to coach better because it has more information for it to pull from.
Yeah. I think I think Eric Schmidt has kind of a stance that he's standing behind pretty strong in that, talking about, the organizations that can learn the fastest are the organizations that will win. So, what I'm hearing as we're working through these tools, it's helping you to move faster. It's helping you to learn faster. It's helping you to fail faster. It's helping you to execute faster. And to me, that's just part of the recipe for winning now and into the future.
Absolutely, man.
So got 3 great tools. We got 2 more to go. So Shiloh, Fellow, Fixer. What's number 4?
Whisperflow. WISPR, Whisperflow. If you are not using Whisperflow, you are spending an absurd amount of time typing into your keyboard or getting frustrated with the trash talk to text that Apple has built in, because talk to text with Apple is awful. Whisperflow is talk to text with AI integrated into it, so it actually understands what the hell you're trying to say. So the beauty of Whisperflow, it works on your phone and it works on your computer, and it understands what you're trying to say. So I talk at like 140 words a minute. I type at like 40. So it's 100 words a minute more that I'm able to execute on because I'm using talk to text. And the cool thing is, what makes it so unique is it formats things properly. So if I talk to it, I just literally hold a button down on my keyboard and say, "Hey, John, I'm excited to present this offer to you for 123 Main Street. Below are the terms of the offer. Price, $1 million. Deposit, $100,000. Down payment, $300,000. Close of escrow, 30 days. Due diligence period, 20 days. New paragraph. Hey, thanks for taking a look at this offer. Please email me back to confirm." And then I'll be done, and it will type the whole damn thing out. It'll have bullet points. Like, it's insane. It's so good. So that is just like a massive, massive time saver and a frustration saver, because if you're doing it in Apple, the grammar is always crap. It doesn't have punctuation. You're having to go back and edit it. It's like, you might as well have just typed it in by the time all said and done. Where Whisperflow, you never have that. It learns, like, we have somebody on our name named Carly, but she spells it Karlee. So the first time it was spelled it Carly, like the more traditional way. And then you go correct it, and now it knows the next time you say Carly, it's do it the way that you taught it to do it in the future. So it's just getting smarter and better over time too. So Whisperflow just saves like just time and time and time on top of time.
It is by far my favorite tool. I use it all the time. I apparently have to up my speaking game. I'm about 84 words a minute. You're over 100. So yeah, I got to improve there. But dude, you're so spot on. Like, sometimes I'll just accidentally just quick, I'll hit the little talk button on Apple, and then I'll do it. And then I'll be like, this is the worst thing ever. Like, why did I do that? And then I go right back to Whisperflow. do it. It does it right. Send it. It is my favorite AI app that I've ever had. It is like, you talk about just boom in the moment, just being able to do it. It is so cool.
Yeah, especially like when you're driving, you don't have time to go like fix the screw ups that you get from the old talk to text. You don't have to worry about it. You can trust that it's going to actually use proper grammar, proper punctuation, all that stuff.
Mhm.
So you're just putting out, because I do judge people based on the messages they send me. And if the
Sure.
messages are sloppy, like I'm gonna be like, you didn't care. And now
Yeah.
I'm sure there's plenty of other people who don't judge, but I do. I'm just being honest. So if you send me stuff that's like grammatically incorrect, like I'm judging you. So this helps make sure you can feel confident your messages are going to be grammatically correct.
And that's such a great point, because you got to think about, the agents that are doing things. They're on the go. They're mobile. They're on the go all the time. And a lot of agents driving. They're in the car, right? So I literally don't even look at it anymore when I hit send. I have that much confidence. And if it is off, I'll go fix it, and it'll be better next time. But it's not going to be that bad. And so I love it when I'm driving, just like you said, I just hit it, just start talking, hit go, right on to the next one. And man, it is really cool. I love that one.
Yeah. And then the last one I want to hit is like, you're already using this, but are you really like using it to its fullest potential? Is just using Claude. Hopefully everybody's moved over from ChatGPT to Claude.
Yes.
That seems like most people have recognized that's where you want to be. But a few things, I think how you use Claude can make a big difference. Number one, you have to use the app, not the desktop version. So you need to actually download Claude onto your computer, and then load the app, which used to be called programs. Now they call them apps. So like actually open the Claude app. Don't use Claude.ai on the web, because it opens up a whole nother world of possibilities when you're using the desktop app. One of the biggest things is when you dive in there, you're going to find there's 3 different ways to use Claude. You have chat, which is what a lot of us are used to, where you just kind of do basic question and answer back and forth. But then you have co-work and you have code. For most people, code, you don't need to mess with it. There's not really much need for 95% of people. Just don't even bother with code. But where most of us should be living is in co-work. So you want to be using Claude, desktop app, and you want to be using co-work. Multiple reasons, but the biggest one being is that you're starting to build this library of files and information on the computer, versus Claude having to go out and find this information every time you prompt it. So instead of it having to go search the whole internet and learn all about you over and over again, you have all this stuff like your brand kit, for example. Like when you're using Cowork, your entire brand kit is there built into Cowork, and it's able to reference all of those files. So you're getting responses a lot faster. The thing we talked about earlier, where I had a presentation with my team today, Cowork was able to actually like complete tasks for me and execute on things for me. So it built me a slide deck, it built me a 1-page handout, and it built me an interactive website for the agent. So this thing is more agentic, right? This is like the best gateway drug to getting into agentic AI, where this is actually going to go and do things for you, not just have a chat conversation with you. And Claude Cowork, you don't have to know anything about coding. Like you literally just talk to it, just have conversations, and it can actually go and complete tasks for you. You can have scheduled tasks. You can have something I built, and it's really easy to do. Like literally, if you load Claude right now and go into Cowork, it's gonna be like, let me help you build a daily briefing, which is something that like everybody should do. My daily briefing, when I finish up here, it's gonna tell me right at the top what is my number one most important priority. It's going to tell me my calendar the rest of the day, who I'm meeting with, when I'm meeting, and when I need to leave to get there if I'm commuting, which today's obviously commuting day. I'm in my truck. So it'll make sure I know who I'm meeting with, what I'm meeting with them about, my commute times. That'll have, here's the 5 most important messages in Slack you need to respond to, 5 most important emails you need to respond to, 5 most important iMessages you need to respond to. So it's literally like my entire day is all right there. And I could refresh that anytime. So when I wake up in the morning, I refresh it and it tells me everything. When I finish up a meeting, I refresh it, tells me everything. So that daily briefing is huge. The other things to set Claude up properly is if you've been using chat or something else, you can import the memory from your other AI tools. I feel like the term LLM is going away, which is great because that confused people. So whatever AI platform you're using, if it was ChatGPT, Claude will literally give you a prompt to throw into ChatGPT, and then you just copy the prompt that it gives you, paste it into Claude, and now Claude knows everything that chat knows. So a lot of us, started out with ChatGPT and we spent 2 years, 3 years on there playing around. It learned a lot about us. Now you could just extract that out of chat, throw it into Claude, and Claude's fully up to speed on it. So that's an important step a lot of people don't take. So we're desktop app, we're using CoWork, we're importing our memory. Then the next two things, one is connectors. So you want to get everything connected to it. We touched earlier on Fixer. I want to connect Fixer to it. So I can be in Claude and I can ask about meetings and it's going to go search through Fixer and find details on meetings. But you want to connect your Gmail, you want to connect all your, basically your whole Google suite, and just go through all of the connectors and connect everything that you're actually using. So I have Gamma, something I use to make slides, that's connected. Fixer is connected. All my Google stuff's connected. You can connect all these things together so that Claude can go Slack. Actually, that's a really big one. The fact it's connected to my Slack, because I can go in there all the time. Hey, I had a conversation about the moving trucks and getting them rewrapped. Can you go find that conversation and summarize it for me? And it'll go into Slack, look through everything ever that happened in Slack, because I think Slack search sucks. And it'll come back, be yeah, you actually talked to Heather about the moving trucks and here's what you guys decided. Great, thank you. So use those connectors so that this thing is connected to your whole world. It becomes like the hub. I don't have to go into all these different systems anymore. I can really live in Claude, and Claude can go out to all the systems and bring the information back to me. And then the last one is plugins, and they've actually connected. There's skills and there's plugins. The cool thing is plugins actually, most plugins have 10 skills inside of them, so you don't have to go find individual skills. You can just download a plugin. For example, there's a sales plugin, there's a legal plugin, there's a productivity plugin. So go into the plugin menu, figure out all the plugins that make sense, and that's going to just make Claude a little bit smarter in the areas that you are going to use it most commonly. So for us as realtors, sales, legal, and productivity, those would be the three that I think everybody should have. But add all those plugins in there and you're just going to level up how smart your Claude is around the areas that you spend the most time.
Dude, that's so good. So good. Absolutely love that. And two, if you can put it, like you said, to one area, right? Everything's coming into Claude. You got everything connected. How important that really is. So Shiloh, Fellow, Fixer, Whisperflow, and Claude can really build out one heck of a stack for you to be able to, really do whatever the heck you want, which is way wild and crazy to think about.
Yeah, I'll give you another example, because I think examples are good, because again, you don't know what you don't know. But I signed this $4 million listing in Coronado, high-end neighborhood here in San Diego. And Coronado is a second, third home community. So I just went in and said, hey, I want to market to the agents in the communities outside of San Diego where those agents might have buyers buying here. And it was hey, here's the 5 feeder markets that feed into San Diego. And I was great, can you give me find out who the top 100 agents are in those areas, because I want to market to them. And then it was yeah, I can find it out. Which top 100 do you want? Do you want the most sales, most volume, luxury? So it was oh, actually, I want the luxury ones, because the luxury clients are the ones that are going to, be buying a second home here. So then it was great, I got those. Do you want me to get the contact info for them? Yeah. And it was I have 2 different ways I can get the contact info. I can connect to this system called Apollo or this one called Clay. And I was great, which one should I do and why? I was Clay. Okay. So then it set me up with Clay. And then this thing went in and now it found the contact. It found who are the top 100 agents in each of those 5 markets. And then it found the contact info for them. And then it built out a multi-prong email campaign to target those agents in those 5 feeder markets. Dude, we're talking 15 minutes to do all this.
Yeah, that's the most wildest thing, just thinking through. And I know you've done it too. And I just thinking back to all the days, living on the whiteboard, 15, 16, 18-hour days, just grinding through when we were in the lab doing everything that we were doing. And I was what I would have given to have just even the early use of this kind of technology to be able to collapse time. I was just literally blown away at the time And that's the biggest thing. And you said it right from the jump. The most important thing for you is your time. And so is that kind of the filter that you're running things through? Is this going to make me more efficient? Is this going to save me more time?
Yeah, I mean, it's three things. Is it going to help me make more money, save more time, or help me have more fun? Those are the three things that are most important to me. Because fun is important. Sometimes you do things not because you make money, because it's fun. Like we're now a horse family. It was fun for me to go to the ranch and build some shit. Like I could easily have paid somebody else to do it, so I didn't have to. But like that's fun for me. So there's things that don't always make like dollars and cents, but they make me happy. And those things are important too, because sometimes we do get too fixated on time and money and we lose sight of having fun doing it.
Yeah, that's such a great reminder, man. So cool. So with you running, number one team on the planet, Brett's definitely got something to say about that as he's pushing you. So I gotta love the competition. I gotta love the fun competition. I love both of you guys. I love what you guys are doing. So it's fun to watch. But when you look at, rolling in anything new, right? Especially to the organizational size that you're at, because you're over the threshold of, we can't just redesign it overnight, right? We're too big, right? If we're going to redesign, we got to kind of do it over here, a little stacking the deck, and then we can kind of roll in. But there's things that you're like, dude, you got to there's some adoption here that you got to get going. So how do you get your agents bought in and then actually get them to adopt these tools and not revert back to I've always done it this way, I'm just going to keep doing it this way? How do you get them to adopt what you're rolling out for them?
Yeah, I've seen some team leaders that have this mindset of like, I don't want to teach the agents the AI stuff. Like I want to, it's called like gatekeeping technically. Like I want to gatekeep this information. I don't want them in there because then they might not need me. Like that is a scarcity mindset if I ever heard of one. So we are actively engaging our agents in AI, and we're doing hackathons on a weekly basis. So we're getting our admin team together and they have a weekly hackathon. We're getting our agents together. We have a weekly hackathon. We're just getting in a room and just getting behind the wheel and playing with stuff. And what's cool is the agents are coming up with like ideas that we'd never thought of. And the cool thing is they don't have the skill set that we have. So they'll come up with an idea that they can maybe get to like a 4 or a 5 as far as like the quality and the ability. And then we're like, oh, that's really good. And then we take that and then put our brains behind it. And now this idea, what started as an idea that the hackathon got to a 4 or 5, now we put our brains on it and we can get that thing to an 8 or a 9. And we're coming up with just so much cool stuff that's happening. And it's because everybody in the company is using it. We have a channel in Slack called AI. I think it's AI in action. So people are sharing like, oh, look what I did. Look what I did. Look what I did. And so it's just, people like, oh my gosh, how'd you do that? And it's like, I just typed this sentence and it made it. Like, oh, and so it's more motivational. People are getting a lot more comfortable with it. We got this girl Hazel on our team. It would be the last person you would expect to be like a trailblazer with technology. And Hazel, who's like, I don't know how old Hazel is, but she's one of the older agents on our team. She's crushing it, man. I'm like so proud of her. And she's like, look what I built. Look what I built. Like, that's awesome, right? The one of the people you would have never expected to lead us down that trail is leading us and coming up with new stuff. And it's so cool. And now it inspires the other agents who, right? We got a bunch of 20-year-old agents. We got 50-year-old agents. Like it's inspiring some of the more senior agents on the team. Like, oh, Hazel could do it. I could do it. And then, boom, it's this like amazing flywheel that's happening right now where they just keep pushing it better and better and learning more and more. And we want everybody on Claude, and we've intentionally only taught Claude. We want everybody on the same platform. It just works better that way. So we're all speaking the same language, using the same tools.
I would agree, man. It's so cool. And I think you nailed it right there, right? When you've got an agent that nobody would expect doing anything and that inspiration, but I mean, that's really another, I know we're not talking about, go join a team, but another great example of why you want to be on a team to where you can collaborate at a level like this, especially like you said, a senior agent getting into an environment that's going to push them to continue to grow, and they have an opportunity to inspire, everybody else around them. That's why teams, pro team, definitely more important now than ever. I really believe being able to have that connection, being able to come together for every reason that you've shared. It's really important.
Yeah. Again, let the team leader, let them put those ingredients together for you, right? And there's so much trial and error that goes into making a dish at a restaurant, right? Like chef doesn't nail it the first time. Like they make all kinds of mistakes. Like let your team leader make those mistakes so you don't have to. Like that's why you join a team, is they're going to put this whole thing together. They're going to go through all the trials, the tribulations, and then roll it out when it makes sense so that you don't have to. Like that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, I love it. Man, brother, I appreciate you jumping in here. I know you got a crazy schedule to be able to share, and what you guys are using, what's working well for you, the things that you're seeing that's going to really make you guys more efficient, being able to hit those numbers and keep Brett on his toes and vice versa. So I love that. Any final kind of thoughts? Just more of a somebody still kind of on the fence of man, I'm not tech savvy, just get in here. Any final things that maybe mindset thing that they can kind of latch onto that will help them, moving forward?
I can't stress enough, just get behind the wheel and just start talking to it. The best thing you can do when you're prompting, have the end in mind, and then just tell, I don't know how to get there, but like, I want to, like what I did with the presentation for my team is like, I want to build a presentation for my team to help them understand this. And then it's going to fill in the blanks for you, but just tell it where you're trying to get to. Same way you would, like, you get mad at your spouse when they tell you all these things and it's like, where are you going with this? Right? Like, what are you trying to accomplish here? Think about that. That's how you should prompt. Like, what are you trying to accomplish, right? Like, what are you going toward? Maybe you don't know the ultimate final goal, but like, here's what I'm thinking. Like, can you help me? And you can literally, that is your prompt. Like, I'm thinking about, there's this a building across the street from me that I'd love to figure out how I can approach the owner of this building and present to them on why they should hire me to sell all their condos. Like, that's what I'm thinking. Help me get there.
Yeah.
I have no clue where to even start. Great. Claude is going to cover you. It's going to ask you a bunch of questions. It's going to throw a bunch of ideas. It's going to ask you to think about some things. Like, just help it understand, where do you ultimately want to get to, and then have it work to get you there. Always tell it to ask you more questions. Like, just teach it. Ask me at least 5 questions before you give me any advice. I want you to understand everything. Ask me more questions.
So good. Just be, like you said, just there, and then dude, just ask questions, just have a conversation. It's gonna get you to where you want to go if you can just think of it in that terms. I think that's the best way to frame it, man. Just go have a conversation. Go have a conversation with Kyle. He'll walk you through it.
Yeah, it's so simple. And I know when you set this up with me today, you probably thought we're going to talk like some crazy high level stuff. Like, no, I am so motivated to get people excited about using AI and demystify the fact that it's hard and complicated. Like, because I think a lot of the people that are doing that, they're trying to sell you a product. So it's like they want to overwhelm you and make it seem so complicated so they can sell you on some shit when it's not that hard. It's really not. You just get behind the wheel and just start talking to it, and you'll be shocked at what comes out. So I hope those of you that watch this, you get behind the wheel and you build something cool, and then DM me at Kyle Whissel. I'd love to see what you build. Yeah,
I love it. Guys, connect with Kyle. If you're not following him on social media, you're doing yourself a massive misjustice to be able to just even see the highlights of the personal side, let alone all the cool stuff that you guys are doing in San Diego on the real estate. But brother, I can't thank you enough, man. Appreciate you a ton, continuing to really lead the way, not only, for this company, but for the entire industry. And I really appreciate it. And thanks again, man, for jumping in here and adding massive value, and really what this whole 324 episode series has been about, right? And that's just about tapping into the people that just want to give back. And dude, you got one of the biggest hearts, and I appreciate you.
All right, sounds good, bro. Thanks for having me.
All right, man. We'll catch you next time. Thanks, guys. See ya.